Chicago residents' outrage over the city's sanctuary policies erupted at a city council meeting yesterday. They gave Mayor Brandon Johnson and Chicago Democrats an earful for prioritizing illegal immigrants over struggling Americans and rooted for, listen to this, President-elect Trump.
So, Brandon, you and all these Democratic mayors out here and governors, y'all talking about crashing out for these illegals, right? You all stood up there and said you will not allow Trump to come in here and get these illegals. Yeah, you can smile. We're in a $1 billion deficit. And you spent half of our money, half of that on illegals. Trump, Tom Homan, make an example out this right here first. Please come here first, because you know what? We're going to help you. We want a forensic.
Ma'am, I would ask that you keep your, hold on a second, stop her time.
Our mayor is embarrassing us, y'all, around the world. And you all took the power back from him to say the city of Chicago is out of the business of funding illegals. We are out of the business of prioritizing non-American citizens on top of the American citizens who go out in this cold weather every day to make money to pay their taxes.
You so strong about protecting those aliens, but you won't do nothing for the U.S. citizens.
Here you are with another gritty property tax hike, trying to push the have-nots to house your precious illegal immigrants. You told Trump you ain't gonna blink? Well, we ain't either. You ain't above the law, and where you gonna run to when Trump pours that Trump card out on you? I will make it my duty to try to get my gun to perform an Operation Great Lord 2.0 in Chicago and lock all of you crooked Democrats and judges up. And it's just like that.
This is the election in a nutshell. I mean, if you could sum it up, you have progressive radicals who say, let's fund illegal immigrants over American citizens like Brandon Johnson. And then you have Trump increasing his numbers double digits among all kinds of demographics. People in MAGA hats saying, we're rejecting this, Brian.
Governor Pritzker, too, said, you come from my people, you got to go through me first. Mayor Brandon, whatever his name is, Johnson comes out. How do I forget the name Johnson?
That's okay.
It's pretty low. But he comes out and says, we have repaired the relationships with our police force. The last thing we're going to do is reopen those scabs and allow that. What are you talking about? When ICE shows up with a detainer and says he wants that prisoner, you should say, please, take the gangster off my hands and his neck tattoo and put him back in Venezuela. This is, I didn't see any of that. I am so encouraged to hear that, because what is in the best interest of the people instead of your backwoods party? The people are saying, you're taking my services, you're overriding my classrooms, you're taking my money, you're ruining my airports, you're taking over my subways, you're taking over my streets. Please tell me, stop helping me. You're not doing anything for me. And this is the minority community who, with President increased in all those areas. I just hope he uses this time to go back to President Trump, who, with his staff that he's building up, to go back to Chicago, back to New York, back to Philadelphia. Says, now that I got some of your votes, I want to find out how else I can help. I saw you on Outnumbered. I want to help you out. How do I do that? How do you convince your politicians to give me the power to let Tom Homan do his job?
Yeah, well, he's doubling down. Harris, listen to Mayor Brandon Johnson on his words for the Trump administration.
Our values will remain strong and firm. We will face likely hurdles in our work over the next 4 years, but we will not be stopped. And we certainly will not go back.
We will not go back.
He said our values will remain strong. They're anti-American values. Like, this is what the people voted for, including people in his own city and state. So if he's saying that our values were, whose values is he talking about?
Yeah.
Which people does he represent? Because it's not the people who voted for Trump. I loved what the previous gentleman said, though, and I'm going to say it the way he said it. You told Trump you ain't going to blink. We ain't going to blink either.
Yeah, I love that.
I mean, that's the thing. Why don't you believe the voters? I really don't get this. But I will say this, there's money in it. There's money in it. And so if they fix all the problems and they make everything go away and they keep those police officers employed and happy and all of that, what will they run on? No one will have a victimhood. No one will have grievance. We'll always have some crime in society. I'm not saying that it'll be completely wiped away. But it doesn't give them the soapbox moment as the left to be able to say, I ran on keeping those people from putting you in chains.
Well, couldn't they say I fixed it?
I believe Joe Biden said when he was running.
Harris, couldn't say you could run on I fixed it? Why doesn't the mayor try to fix it?
Oh, well, he has a plan, Emily. So the $300 million property tax was voted down by the city council. And I was so intrigued by what he said after. Listen to this. Here's his plan. During a news conference after the city council meeting, Johnson said he and the city council will balance the budget, but insists he's talking with state and congressional leaders about progressive revenue. Well, what is progressive revenue? I didn't know revenue had a political ideology. I guess it does for the mayor.
This is a shocking lack of understanding of simple math and simple economics. So here's the thing. Chicago has the second highest debt in the entire country, about $43,000 per taxpayer. But here's the thing. When you add in the fact that they are also responsible for Illinois' debt, they become not second to New York City, but they become number one. So Brandon Johnson is sitting there saying that he's talking with progressive leaders about balancing the budget. Yeah. You are so far past that economics. And that is why, to all of those testifying to their points, as they see the police department that has been gutted, as they see them among the highest homicide rates in the nation that are disproportionately killing 18 to 24-year-old black men, and then they're being told, oh, when you move here or when you live here, over 13% of your income alone is going toward our debt. On top of that, you add, this is all per the City Journal, per Truth in Accounting, they are the highest in sales tax in the entire country, and they are almost the highest in terms of property taxes and also some of their liabilities. So the irony there is that their residents are suffocating under the most massive debt and most massive liabilities and burdens in the entire country, and yet this person is sitting there saying that he can speak better for them and that he knows what's better for their pocketbook. And by the way, everyone fleeing that city, they are the ones who have the luxury of doing so. It's those disenfranchised, underserved, mostly people of color there that are stuck there and therefore saddle even greater with that burden thanks to Mayor Brandon Johnson.
And despite all of that, let's pull up the amount of money, taxpayer dollars, your dollars, Chicago, that have been spent on illegal immigrants, the migrant crisis. $574.5 million, and then almost $1 billion budget deficit, Kennedy.
Yeah, and that's during an inflationary period. And, you know, the progressive revenue, it's actually a double entendre because these are progressive, politically progressive ideas about taxing the rich. And it also means like a progressive tax is the more you make, the higher your tax rate will be, which, again, just invites people who make money to leave the city, because why would you stay there if you're being punished and you have so little return on your investment? You also have a limited pool of resources, and that means that the people who need it, now that they're competing with people from all over the world who need even more because they probably never lived in a really cold climate, and winter is here. So they're having to fight for that. So that's why you're seeing people who, you know, probably never voted Republican in their lives. They want something different because progressivism has failed writ large, but it has failed them personally, and they're absolutely sick of it. If Brandon Johnson were running right now, he would absolutely lose.
And I didn't think it could get worse than Lori Lightfoot, but then came Brandon Johnson. He said, hold my beer, Lori. Watch me.
Hey, everyone. I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.